Hey, hey, Delame, why do you treat me this way? Hey, Butterball. All right, got a 2-for-1 special today. Got to hear Ron Stewart play recently and listen to some of his playing, and he had a really cool up the neck kind of fill-in lick. That goes well on more modern type songs because he plays a lot of bluesy things with the boxcars. So you're always looking for more up the neck stuff, especially in those type of songs. A lot of people have a tendency to stay down the neck. All right, so it's very similar to the traditional tag lick as you're going from up the neck back down, which is okay. Except you add in, you got to go up 3 frets there and do a real pinky stretch there on the first string. So it's okay, and it took me a while to figure out exactly what notes to play with that, which fingers to use at which times, when to hit the 5th string, that kind of stuff. So I'll try to go through as much as I can in a minute. And then I thought about transitioning down the neck. What would that sound like an octave lower? So I tried to do kind of a direct transcription and ended up kind of modifying a little bit. So it's not the exact same notes down the neck, but it's got the same feel to it. And it ends up sounding a lot like JD Crowe, and especially the part of it, that part of it, but it sounds like this. Okay, so you get a 2-for-1 special today. Let's start with the up the neck. And I'm still learning this too, so kind of bear with me here. And you're doing a lot of first and second string kind of back and forth. So it's really hard for me to call out what string I'm hitting which finger and play it right at the same time. So I'll do the best I can with it. Definitely play it as slow as I can for you a few times. All right, but with the Sally Gooden position, I'm in the key of B for a couple reasons. The main reason is my pinky won't stretch quite as much as it needs to. So what you can do is kind of cheat and put it in B and then back down to A and then eventually work your way back down to G to really stretch it out. The other reason is if you want to play along with the boxcars version of Big Spike Hammer, as I was playing at the beginning, they play it in B, and you can find that on YouTube as well. Okay, but it'll work on any song where there's like a 1 measure fill-in lick that you need. Okay, and Big Spike Hammer is a good one for that. All right, so here we go. Sally Gooden position, and the first note is the 2nd string, and that's a quarter note, and then all the rest of them are 8th notes. Okay, so that'll kind of help you with the timing part of it. Okay, so you start with the 2nd string, and then you do the 2nd string again, and I do use my index finger twice in a row because it's a quarter note, so you do have time to get it in again. Let's see, so okay, so choke, 1st string, 2nd string, 1st string, 3rd string, and don't fret it until you need it on that one, because if not, it'll sound like a minor, the E minor shape there. And then back to the 2nd, and then you go to the stretch there, and you're going up 3 frets from where your where your middle finger is. And then that's the only time you hit the 5th string is right after that stretch. And then you go back and do the little stretch on the, or the little choke on the 2nd string. Okay, and you can stay up the neck. Okay, or you could transition back down the neck. Okay, either one you want. Depends on where you're going next. Okay, so a couple things there to show you again really slow. Let's see if I can get a better shot with the right hand here. Okay, it's about as slow as I can play it without losing it completely. Okay, and then let's see if I can show you the left hand a little bit better. All right, so there we go. And up to speed. Try to be up to speed. It's really cool, and it's not a whole lot different than the traditional tag lick you probably already do if you do any kind of up the neck breaks. Most of the time at the end of that is, okay, you're just adding a little bit extra to it. Okay, and I think you can figure that out. All right, now we're going to transition down the neck. I tried to do the same notes as I was doing up the neck, just down an octave. Ended up kind of modifying a little bit, and what ended up sounding like, very similar idea, but it sounds a lot like what JD Crowe would play, especially the end of it where it's... Okay, so here it is up the neck. And down the neck. So hopefully you can hear it's kind of the same amount of space, kind of just a different octave, a few things different. All right, so it's hard to explain what's going on with the left hand and right hand here. So it's going to kind of go slow, show it a couple times real slow, and we're going to do the best we can on that. So the first thing to remember is we're not doing any hammer-ons. Okay, it's all pull-off from 3 to 2 on the third string. It's got a different sound to it than trying to hammer-on pull-off. Okay, so straight pull-offs. So third string to start with, and the progression with the right hand is thumb, thumb, index, index, thumb, thumb. That's the first half of the lick. Okay, so it's open, second fret, thumb, thumb, and now we switch to the index and do a pull-off. Index open, thumb, on the second fret, fourth string, thumb. Okay, here it is slowly. That's the first half of the lick. Okay, and the second half of the lick is we do a backwards roll on the first, second, and third string with middle, index, thumb. Okay, first string is going to be fretted at the second fret. And the third string is going to be fretted at the second fret. So you're going. And depends on where my capo is and how my hand's working and what my brain's doing about which finger I use to fret the first string. I think I've used the first, second, and third fingers there. So whatever feels comfortable to you and allows you to get to where you're going next, the easiest transition, that's what you want to do. I think for now, because of the capo, I'm going to use the middle finger. Okay, and then notice I don't fret the third string until I need it. So here's what we got so far. Okay, and now we're doing the same pull off again. Okay, and the same progression with your index finger. Okay, so here's the whole thing. One more time there, slow. Okay, let me turn this way, see if it helps you with the left-hand fingering. Okay, and this way with the right hand, because since it's a little bit more complicated than some of the stuff I've done for you. One more time. I'm tired. How about y'all? All right, work on those. See what you can do. I really like the up the neck part, up the neck fill in lick, because a lot of times on the more modern bluesier type of songs, you don't do a whole lot of stuff up the neck, but that's got enough bluesy kind of feel to it that you can work it in on a nice driving song. So hope you enjoy that. Thanks.